Creating or joining an online community is a wonderful way to meet people who are likewise engaged in learning about their families. You share a bond as you search for a connection to your roots, the past, and you take pride in it. Sonia, Alessio, and I met in person in August of 2020 at a Catholic church in Massarosa. From that day on, I felt a sense of belonging. We instantly connected and have been supporting each other with every ancestry find. Now, it's normal to reach a wall when researching, but when just one brick is removed, the feeling of sharing that joy with others in the team is just incredible. Just recently, Alessio found an entry in a Bolzano baptismal record book that tore down a 14-month wall for me. I mean, I was so excited. I called home and started screaming with joy. I found Domenico's father. I found Domenico's father. Woohoo! But now that that wall has been torn down, another wall has risen. But I know together we will break that wall too, because that's what we do. We help each other out. And that's what's important in an online community, being a team and helping each other out. Researching takes patience. It takes time, lots and lots of time. There'll be days that you'll be like looking through records hour after hour, and not finding a name. And sometimes you may find just one name. So you need to have patience, like I said before. You need to have free time, and you need to have a big interest in searching for your roots and connecting with people. Then if you have that, then joining an online community will definitely make researching fun. Now, as far as our community, we are called the BMQ Club. And we got that name because one day we received an email from Ted Poli, who lives in the United States, who is part of our community, with the subject Bolzano Club. Now, I don't have many relatives from Bolzano. My relatives mainly come from Massarosa and from Chiesa. So I then jokingly just said, well, why don't we call ourselves the BMQ Club, since we have ancestors not only from Bolzano, but also from Massarosa and from Chiesa. So, from that day on, the name has stuck, and I basically think it's a pretty cool name. And, we are lucky, very, very lucky, to have in our community a very knowledgeable archivist by the name of Virgilio De Bucchia, who has been a tremendous help from the first day we started researching together in Massarosa, at the Massarosa Church Archive. Not only does he help us with our research, but he tells us interesting family stories. Some of the stories are even funny, so we always have a good laugh every time that we are together. He pulls out old newspaper articles and documents. I think on the first time we got together, he pulled out and showed us a document that was written in June 1492 when Christopher Columbus set sail. That was wow, yeah. And he shares our drive to break down walls. He is just a big, big asset to our community. Along with researching my roots, I also took on the project of photographing and documenting cemeteries, because after lockdown 2020, I went to the Massarosa Cemetery all excited to find my ancestors. And I didn't find anyone who I was hoping to find. Yes, my great-grandparents are there, but I was hoping to find older ancestors, hoping to find a photograph on the grave, maybe to find that a resemblance to one of my ancestors. But unfortunately, they were no longer there. Since cemeteries are small and of need of space, old graves are removed to make room for the new ones. So, I was heartbroken. Therefore, I decided to start photographing older graves. That way, if they are removed, the future generation will at least have a digital photo of that grave or headstone and not feel lost like I did. I started photographing the Viareggio Cemetery, which is a very, very big cemetery. I believe there's over like maybe 10,000 graves and headstones at that cemetery. I like to thank Mauro, who is a young gentleman who works in the office at the Misericordia Cemetery in Viareggio, who not only gave me permission to photograph the thousands and thousands of graves, but he also shares an enthusiasm in my project. One thing I also thank him for is that he told all the groundkeepers he said, listen, if you see a lady taking photographs in the cemetery, leave her alone. She's working on a project. Just let her, if she needs assistance, just, help her out. So I also thank him for that. The Viareggio Cemetery was a very big project for me because it took months to photograph. Then also I had to upload them and index them, and then I indexed them on GinaNet. And now that I'm finished, at the moment I'm finished with Viareggio because I just did basically the older graves. After I finished with Viareggio, I then started photographing the Bolzano, the Chiesa, Pieve Elici cemetery, and I hope in 2022 to continue photographing cemeteries around the area. I'll have to say that how has my genealogy research changed my life? Well, for me, it has become therapeutic. It gives me a solid sense of family, and I feel closer to my ancestors. It makes me feel important because I have something to pass on to the next generation. But if my research is at a point that it is today, it's due to this fantastic online community that I'm part of today. If I'm able to read, interpret, and analyze old parish documents, it's thanks to Alessio, because with his patience, he has helped me in understanding old Italian handwriting and solving mysteries. He solves mysteries better than me, but I'm learning. Sonia, with her Facebook page, she posts very interesting family stories that I can relate to, that makes me think about my ancestors. And to you, Nicole, it's your contagious enthusiasm for genealogy that keeps me fueled. My wish is for the world to be filled with online communities like the BMQ Club.